I noticed on your Twitter feed that you may have watched the press conference with Is it Jacob Wohl? The press conference, the smear Mueller.
I actually did watch it, but I hadn't watched it until I didn't know that name. That was like someone got me with a name, like, and I'm still a little confused.
Okay, so here's the story. This guy Jack Berkman, who is a Republican operative, and another Republican, I guess, operative or conservative, like pro-Trump Twitter guy, Jacob Wohl, who's 20 years old, were announcing that they have a woman who claims that she was raped, right? Was it raped or sexually assaulted by Robert Mueller 20 or 30 years ago? And they got the information from Surefire Intelligence, which turns out to be Jacob Wohl's creation, where he created a website with all pictures that he stole from the internet to supposedly be his investigators. Like, there was the chief of the Israeli bureau was a Israeli supermodel,
Bar Raffaele,
and the head of Zurich. Who was the actor who was the head of the Zurich branch of Surefire?
Was it Christoph Waltz?
Yeah, Christoph Waltz, and he took these pictures and didn't realize that people could identify who they were. And then
at the press conference, did he do that at the press conference? No,
well, here he is at the press conference. He did something like it, where he supposedly had a picture of him with the woman who claimed to have written this affidavit claiming she was assaulted by Mueller, and it turns out people searched it. It's his girlfriend.
It's Jacob's girlfriend?
Yes. And it's Jacob's girlfriend in her, like, 50s? Right? Because if this happened 30 years ago in 1974, presumably that woman would have had to have been, over 20.
He's in O'Keefe territory now.
Oh,
right?
totally.
He's going up that tree.
What is this clip of him? This is a clip of him at the press conference.
This is a few clips at the press conference, yeah.
Okay, this is him talking because people are giving him grief. Like, you say you're a longtime experienced investigator. You're 20. Let's listen.
Washington Post reported that Mr. Mueller, they re-reported that Mr. Mueller was at jury duty as to discredit this accuser. That's why they re-reported it. That's why it's going around.
Jacob,
but real quick, excuse me.
August 3rd, 2010.
Excuse me. Rather than double checking and saying, wait a second, was he only at jury duty? Sometimes people go to jury duty, but they're also somewhere else. Was he only at jury duty? No, hang on, it's not funny. This is not a laughing matter.
Pause it. There you go. He anticipated your laughter, Andy.
He's got Ricky Gervais's haircut from the 80s.
Yes. Here is when they start asking him about his age and how he could have so much experience as an investigator.
So you're 20 years old, Jacob, right? You're 20 years old. Describe to me your investigative experience. And when did you get this honorary Harvard Law degree?
It's a figure of speech.
Pause it. Hold up. He apparently claimed he had an honorary Harvard Law degree. And of course, that's a figure of speech, right?
Yeah. That's great. Oh, I hope this never ends.
Andy, I mean, like, how many times have you used that figure of speech that you have an honorary Harvard Law degree?
Is he wearing something from Star Trek: The Next Generation? Is that what the guy's wearing?
He should have had his sunglasses on.
He should have had his sunglasses on. He's like the Terminator. All right, let's go. He's the Harvard. What? Andy, just help me out here. How would you use honorary Harvard Law degree as a figure of speech in a sentence?
It's a figure of speech. It's like I have it's like I can't say. You know what? I couldn't do it. It's an expression. It's an expression. That's what it is.
Stop being such a Harvard honorary law degree. That doesn't work. Are you hungry? God, I've got like a Harvard honorary law degree. I'm so hungry.
All of a sudden, I'm starved. I'm starved like that time I ate my honorary Harvard law degree. That's how hungry I am.
Are you tired? I'm so tired I could get a Harvard honorary law degree.
I also have an honorable fake mention from Yale.
There you go. All right, here we go.
And when did you get this honorary Harvard law degree?
It's a figure of speech. Okay.
Okay, so you're 20 years old. What is your investigative? What is your background as a professional investigator?
Like I said, I've done a handful of matters. I've done a handful of matters like this over the years. My mission here is not to establish a narrative. It's not to follow an agenda.
Wait a minute.
It's to bring forth. Hang on.
Excuse
me. It's to bring forth the facts and let the facts speak for themselves, and that's what we've done here.
Jack Berkman steps in and he is giggling like, I don't understand what the hell this is about.
Who's using the excuse? The Trump patented excuse me. That's Trump's signature line.
They're all
Excuse
adopted.
me.
It's all gotten insane, Andy.
I like this. I love this Jacob Wohl now. Look at him. He's so. Where do you go from this? Where does someone go from there?
Where does he go? This is amazing. So he put on. Where is this? Is this on Twitter that he put it up?
It looks like he blogged this out. So he did Microsoft Paint over her face and put it up on his blog.
Okay, so he says below is a photo of Wohl and the accuser, who at this time is fearful of her life and requests to remain anonymous. This is upon arriving in Washington, D.C. She panicked and boarded a flight to another occasion. He posted this picture of him with the accuser, and then somebody again found that same picture, and it turns out to be his girlfriend.
And there's also a lot of interesting sleuthing going on. The ceiling was identified as in LAX and not in any DC airports.
This guy should never leave the house. He could green screen his whole career.
Now, when do you think, at what point, do you think, what do you think happens to this guy? Because I would bet within a couple of years, this is a guy who's going to be making a boatload of money doing some right-wing thing like Project Sorta Veritas or something like that.
Well, where's O'Keefe now? Is O'Keefe tearing it up? Is he killing it?
O'Keefe had apparently got a volunteer of Beto O'Rourke's on camera saying something to the effect of what was it? Was it Beto O'Rourke's or Gillum's? He got some volunteer.
He did a hike camp person too. He's
got people all over.
He's got volunteers for candidates saying stuff that's inappropriate. People who sign up to volunteer, literally one of the thousands of people, and then he refers to them as staffers, but they're usually they're unpaid volunteers.
Oh, God, please let this be funny next Wednesday morning.
Yeah, no kidding.